Hello everyone, it's the rest day of Video Grand Prix 2022 in Belgrade. So for today, we're going back to the tutorials. We will feature today Petroff defense or the Russian defense. Alright, let's go through it. E4, E5, Knight F3, and Knight F6. Okay, this is the Petroff. It's named after Alexander Petrov. Alright, this is just similar to the Berlin. If black wants equality, then black can go for this line. Right? White normally takes on E5, black plays D6, then the knight goes back to F3, only then you capture on E4. After D4, D5, D5 pawn protects the outpost on E4, bishop on D3, bishop D6, castles, castles. This is a classical variation. White goes to C4, attacking the defender of the E4 knight. And then black will just simply protect it with C6. The knight C6 takes the knight, takes on C3, takes on C4, takes on C4. Bishop moves out at F5, bishop D5, queen A5, and after queen D2, knight D7, with equal chances for both sides. Okay, another line would be so E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6, knight takes E5, D6, knight into F3, knight takes E4. Here, white could also go for knight C3. This is the Nimzovich variation. Now, black can go for knight takes C3, or he can also go back to F6. Now, let's take a look at knight takes C3. Takes on C3, bishop E7, bishop goes to D3, castles. White goes to bishop E3, knight D7, queen D2, D5, and we have the opposite side castling. White castles on the queen side, black also castles on the king side. Knight, let's say, goes to C5, king to B1, C6, rook H on E1, takes on D3, takes on D3, rook E8, H3, bishop E6, knight D4. Let's say bishop D7, and here white could go for G4, right? So here white attacks on the king side, and black also can go for B5 here. Right, with chances again for both sides, with the opposite sides castling. Yeah. So let's take a look. Knight C3. Black can also go back here to knight F6, and then D4, bishop into E7, bishop D3, castles, castles. Black could go for C5 here. Let's say H3, preventing the pin on G4. Black can also go for H6. White goes for D5. This knight goes to A6, transferring to C7. And let's say rook E1, knight C7. Okay, bishop, let's say, goes to C4 to protect the D5 pawn. Rook E8. Okay, A4, bishop F5. Right, we have bishop F4, and then just queen to D7 with equality. Only one open file, the E file. White can play queen D2. Bishop F8 also is played, but let's say queen D2 and bishop F8. Yeah. You can go for the exchange. You can go for rook to E8 here, rook to E8, and then you can also go for rook E1 if you want to. Right, so these are the main plans, the Petroff. It's quite similar to the Berlin. The E file is open. Right, another line would be, okay, so knight takes E4, white can also go for equality with queen E2. Then queen E7, we have T3, knight goes back to F6. Let's say knight on to C3, knight also goes to C6, bishop G5. Black can capture on e2, takes on e2, bishop to e7, right? Here, white can castle kingside, bishop e6, let's say bishop h4, bishop to d7, rook to e1, and then just castles right here. Right? Again, this is just very, very drawish. With the only open file, the exchange of queens, you could have an early endgame, an early exchange of rooks. You go to a minor piece endgame with equal chances, yeah. So again, if you want to go for equality, if you want to save energy, when the opponent plays e4, you can use the Petroff. But you also have to be careful about the traps behind the lines. Okay, let's look at the main traps here. Okay, e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight takes e5. Young players, when they see capture, they will go for it straight away. Knight takes e4, which is a blunder, because now white attacks your knight on e4. If, let's say, your knight moves back to f6, then we have the discovered attack, discovered check on the king, knight attacks the queen. If the queen protects, the knight will just take the queen. If the bishop protects the check, knight takes on d8, and it's winning for white. Right? And if you protect the knight with d5, white can drive away the knight with d3. Same thing happens if your knight moves, right? There's knight c6. It's over attacking the queen. And if you play queen e7 to attack the knight on e5, white can simply capture the knight, takes on e5, and he can capture d5. You cannot capture d5 with the queen because there's a pin on the king on e8. So white gets an extra pawn. You take the queen, takes the queen, and this extra pawn is too much for black. But one pawn is enough to win the game. Yeah. Right? See that? So you don't capture on e4 early. Yes. You have to play d6 first. Drive away the knight. Once the knight moves back, then you have knight takes e4, because if the opponent plays queen e2, you have queen e7. All right, nothing to worry. If d3, you can move back. Then you can have that exchange of queens, which is drawish. So that's how you avoid the trap in the Petroff. Right, another trap here. Let's say d6, knight takes e4, for example, knight c3. Now you protect your knight with the bishop. White has queen e2. If you go queen e7, for example, to protect the knight, there is knight d5. You cannot go queen e6 here, because there's knight c7. If you move back to d8, again d3, losing the piece on e4. Right? So these are the basic traps in the Petroff, and you have to be careful. Alright, so those are the basic ideas and traps in the Petroff or the Russian defense. In our next video, we will discuss Annan's miniatures in the Petroff. Alright, thank you guys for watching. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.